He knows everything, HUSQVARNA. If anybody wants to know anything, this is the guy. These right here are HUSQVARNA 542s, and we got the man, the myth, the legend. We've got Rick here. He is the senior training rep, right?
Specialist. Yeah.
He knows everything, HUSQVARNA. If anybody wants to know anything, this is the guy. So you guys have the is it 540?
So we have a 540 IXP along with a sister saw top handle, a T540 IXP, which are both direct drive systems. And then we have now come out with a direct drive system with a centrifugal clutch. So we have the only battery saw in the world with a centrifugal clutch. And
That's
those
impressive.
are the 542 IXP and the T542 IXP.
Well, right here, show me what they are. Show me each one of them.
So let's talk about them.
So this one right here.
This is a 540 IXP, and you won't see the model number on the screen because it's an older version. We now manufacture the screens with the model numbers on them.
Got it. Now, first, most important question: same battery on everything?
We can use any of our batteries in any of our tools.
There you go.
So we're super versatile.
That's what people want to hear.
And so this is a BLI 300 battery. It's a 9.4 amp hour battery, so it gives you lots of power, lots of runtime.
Nice. And that will work in this one, and that one.
Yeah,
that
so
one,
I can put it in a top handle saw, and the only difference is that it changes the balance of the saw in the operator's hand. So where we're looking for comfort and ergonomics in a top handle saw, we want a smaller battery. Right. And so we have a BLI 200X that we use in our top handle saws, and then we use a larger saw to change the balance in a rear handle to give you longer performance. And
just guesstimate, don't have to be down to the gram or anything, but what's the weight?
It's under 10 pounds without the battery, so it's about 13 with the battery.
Yeah. I knew it was right around there. I knew it was close. And I've noticed all of these smaller ones have a single nut, and that's all you need because of the size of the bar.
Yep, so we don't run anything longer than a 16-inch bar.
Right.
And so in our battery product for pros, that's where we limit to get the best performance out of the battery. So it limits the load.
This is a 14, right?
That is a 14.
Okay.
And all of our bar information and chain information are engraved into our bars.
Right.
So this is a direct drive saw, so you won't see a clutch there. And so the big deal about direct drive over a direct drive with a clutch is the fact that when you're in a cut, you don't know when the saw is going to bog to the point of overload protection kicking in. And people misconstrue that. When that saw stops, it's not because of bogging down or the motor can't handle it. It's the protection system in the saw that is basically saying, hey, we have too much voltage drop on the battery or amperage drop, and we have too much pressure being exerted on the motor.
So is it saving its own life, basically?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's protecting the motor as well as protecting the battery.
And it's protecting the owner who bought it, so he doesn't have to buy another one.
Absolutely. Right? Because replacing a motor is not cheap.
There you go.
Right? And so when you run a direct drive saw, you sort of learn at some point what you can do and what you can't do.
Right.
But there's always the moment where it comes into the fact that, hey, the saw cuts out, it shuts off, it's in protection mode, and what happens is you literally have to pull the saw from the cut, re-engage the throttle, and then go back into the cut.
Right.
Well, in a situation where you're doing a technical cut or you're working with a crane, right, that little bit of hesitation can be a concern for the person in the tree,
Right.
for the crane operator on the ground, and
Right.
so we want, or the ground man running the ropes, right? So in a rigging situation. So with a clutch, we take and we make a battery saw run, operate, react like a gas saw.
Got it.
So with a 542 IXP, everything's identical, except now
for
we
the
have a
clutch.
centrifugal clutch.
Yep, right there, yeah.
And we have a replaceable drive sprocket. So just like on a gas saw, the sprocket starts to wear down, I'd pull the clutch, pop the sprocket,
Put a new
put a new sprocket, continue on.
In general, runtime. What do you
So
talking?
here's what I tell people, because wood species is different,
Right.
wood size is
I-
different,
yep.
right? So I took the very same 540 IXP that I still use. I helped a friend cut in a driveway, and on their lot we just did felling cuts, and anything from a slash cut in a 2-inch diameter tree to full felling and plunge cuts in a 20-inch diameter pine with a 14-inch bar. I felled 80 trees.
Holy smokes. Is
So-
that including limbing or just the felling
Nope,
part?
just the felling cuts.
Got it. But still, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So a couple hours?
Yeah, I would say, so if you put that into continuous runtime, right,
Yeah.
you're probably looking at 30 to 45 minutes.
Well,
but if you took
right.
that and put it into work time,
Right.
you're talking
Right.
90 minutes, couple hours.
Well, if I'm cutting with a gas saw, my 572s, a 592, saws like that, and I'm cutting stuff like this, one tank, if I'm cutting basically as fast as I can go safely and cutting steady,
Yep.
about a half hour,
Yep.
and you're out of gas.
So we're getting more than a tank out
Right.
of runtime.
And
for
nothing
sure.
wrong with that.
Yep.
Okay, so then if you got multiple batteries, say you got 3 batteries, just swap it out, put the next battery in, put your other battery on a charger.
Yep.
How long before that one charges again? You got a couple
under an
hours?
hour.
Under an hour. Holy smokes. So if you got 3 batteries.
So we can be at
you're good.
80% in 40 minutes.
Oh, so you could. Yeah, that means if you had 3 batteries, you could cut all day.
We could cut all day.
Right, that's not bad at all.
Yep. And we're not talking about firewood processing by any means.
Right, well, I'm talking, yeah.
We are
because that's-
talking
well,
yard
that's-
cleanup. We
right.
are talking working at a chipper.
Right.
We are talking,
Right.
you know, crane work down to
Right.
the point where you get to needing a
Well,
gas
it's a lot
saw.
less cuttings. That's why I mentioned cutting in a log pile. It's steady, one right after another,
Correct.
as fast as you can go. Because that's the maximum amount of cutting you can do. Because even in the
Absolutely.
woods, you're not cutting that much.
Right, because you're walking in between
Right.
cuts. You
And
are
small limbs, little limbs,
Yep.
branches in the way,
flopping off top.
crawling over the log. Whereas I'm in a pile, I'm cut.
Right,
cut,
it's all
cut,
sitting
cut.
there.
It's wide open.
Yep.
So let's see the other ones then.
So from a rear handle design, we go to a top handle design. So this is the T540 IXP. And again, here we're looking at work in a bucket. We're working at operating a loft, right? So this is specific, and even in our manuals, we will dictate that this is for a loft use only. This is not for working on the ground, because you are being put into close proximity.
Right.
And don't forget, battery saws are just as dangerous as gas
yeah.
saws, right? We still have a kickback zone.
Right.
We still have the opportunity to be too close or come into contact.
The other thing a lot of people don't realize, these little bitty saws are actually more prone to kickback than a big saw because you got such a short amount.
Right, there's less distance
Less-
between you
and you got a lot less weight there, so you get a big bar, it won't kick back as fast.
And the
That's
other
what I
thing,
found.
Chris, that people don't think about is that no matter which saw, these open lazy thumbs that I refer to, right? They're your biggest enemy.
they aren't curled
because
over?
you lose 80% of your grip strength just by laying that thumb out.
Yep.
So just in turning them in, you increase your grip strength
Right.
and the ability to help stop a chainsaw.
So when you see guys on videos where they're one-handing it, don't
Hate-
you want to just slap
Oh
them?
my God, it
I
drives me
hate that.
crazy.
It's like, don't you know?
So-
sometimes they don't know where that tip is, and they got one hand and they're looking off in the distance like they're cool. I hate that.
Yeah, and
Like,
I lost a friend.
It's gonna bite you eventually.
I lost a friend back in 2000 to a kickback in a tree with a top handle saw. So don't forget, your proximity to you becomes much closer
Oh yeah.
because you don't have that rear handle to force the saw away from you.
You got less leverage.
Less leverage.
Because your hands are together here,
Yep.
whereas in a back handle, totally
And then when
different.
you do this,
Yeah.
now you put yourself in zero expectation of being able to
Yep.
stop. This isn't a toy.
No.
Battery is far from being a toy.
Any saw.
Any saw.
Any saw. I always tell people, you not only should respect your saw, you should be afraid of it because that'll make you hang on tighter.
Yeah, and I tell people, right, fear can create bad habits. So respect is the biggest deal.
Yes.
I am proof of a kickback recipient. Right, when I knew everything at the age of 16, I ran a chainsaw with zero protection on it,
Oh.
no safety features. Right, 16 for me was a long time
I'm
ago.
guessing no chaps.
No chaps,
So that was what, 3 years ago?
no headgear.
Because you're 19?
Yeah, 16 was 3 years ago. God, I wouldn't even wish that, to be honest. However, my kickback landed on my glasses,
Oh,
and then 3 cuts in my face, 6 in my chest, and 1 in my leg, because
Oh.
as an angry 16-year-old with a chainsaw stuck in my chest,
Holy
I threw the saw away from me and hit my leg.
sounds more like you were wrestling with the saw.
Yeah, it felt like I was wrestling. So this is our top handle version with a clutch. So again, identical saw,
Then we got the
but all we
clutch in.
do is we add a clutch to the program.
So those came out how long ago? Recently, right?
So yeah, it's been just over a year in production,
right,
a year and a half in operation and testing.
right. What's the difference in price on this one versus the other one?
About 50 bucks.
Oh, so yeah,
So it's not a lot. There is about a pound of weight difference.
right.
And so if you own a direct drive saw and you're comfortable with it, you're fine. If you're getting into the business and you're going to do a lot of removals and a lot of bigger cutting, clutch version is way better.
That's what I've heard.
And a lot of people are noticing that with the clutch there is more torque. So we have an enhancement there. And so with that, people are now converting. When it's time to convert, they're going from direct drive to a clutch.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to see you do some cuts.
Sure, we can do a
between
couple
the
cuts.
two. And yeah, just tell me about which one you're cutting with and what you're doing here. So
So I'll just do the rear handle saws,
sure.
and I'm gonna do direct drive first because every battery saw on the market is direct drive.
Yeah.
So we're gonna power it up. Our red flashing light is our indicator that our chain brake is on.
Oh, okay.
And as a factory rep, I wear all of my gear.
Yes, you should.
Disengage the brake. So I'm going to, on purpose, get this saw to go into its protection mode.
Sure.
All right. So there it is.
Yeah.
So now my hand's on the throttle, but the motor's disengaged.
Right.
And so I need to back up and then re-engage into the cut. And there it is again. So I'm just going to lighten up the pressure and we'll finish the cut.
Looks like you did that once before.
Couple times.
Couple times. Nice.
The other nice thing about our saws is that you can plunge cut with them, where a lot of manufacturers you are not able to do that.
Why is that?
Because of either the motor design or the chain that they use won't allow you to plunge into the wood.
Interesting. Interesting.
And I did that nice and slow for the camera so you could see it visually come through the wood.
Yeah. Nice.
And then with us, we have battery indicator on the saw, on the battery.
So you got double.
So
you
we
know
get
what's
double
going on.
options. We also have an economy mode, so if you're just doing light duty cutting, you can extend battery life by 15%. Just put it in E mode.
So you say light duty, you're talking limbing stuff
Smaller
than 2
diameter
inches?
stuff. Yeah. So if I'm going from working in the tree or dropping a tree to limbing, I can switch it into eco mode, drop the RPMs down about 10 to 15%, and then extend my battery
Saving some
life.
juice, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So now you're going to do the
So now we're going to go to the 542 IXP. Powered up. Much easier on your shoulder with battery than gas, of course. And so now, yeah, we're gonna make a couple cuts with this. Now, just so you know, my 540 would have disengaged.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get this.
It's not giving up.
It's not giving up. There it is. And yet, I can stay in the cut and finish it up.
Yeah, you definitely were pushing it. And that's not a big saw, and that's a lot of cutting.
Absolutely. That's a pretty good sized piece of birch.
For a little bitty bar, and yeah.
And I was trying to even get it to hang up in the cut in a plunge, right?
So you're pushing it.
I got force on top and bottom, and it's still fighting me.
Yeah, they have a lot of torque. A lot of torque. Very nice.
So, do we need one over the other? No, we need one for certain work environments, and we need the other for other work environments.
Yeah, very nice. Well, thanks a lot, Rick, for your
Absolutely.
demo. That was awesome.
Have a great day.
So if you guys are interested, you want to see and learn, this is the guy. Go to any logging shop, get outside, get cut, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video. Good night, Reed.